make sure it sound right, boy.
This is my own 2021 COMMENCAL CLASH Essential. The perfect do-it-all bike for short people. Alright, let's start with geometry numbers. This bike has 77.2 degrees of seat tube angle. And as you can see, this is a straight tube, which means future upgrades of your dropper seat post will be a lot easier. However, I don't think that's necessary. The cable-actuated KS Rage dropper seat post is good enough to do the job. Moving on. This bike has 64 degrees of head tube angle, matched to a 40mm stem with a 180mm of front suspension travel, and is very much enough to tackle the steepest descents available in my local trail network. And according to my research, it's only the front triangle that changes in length along the size scale. So that is much like the Trek Powerfly that we reviewed a few years ago now. I'll put the link in the description down below if you are still interested on buying an old e-bike. There are no carbon fiber versions of this bike. However, there are 5 trims, starting from the most bougie, COMMENCAL CLASH Signature, COMMENCAL CLASH Race, COMMENCAL CLASH Essential, COMMENCAL CLASH Ride, and COMMENCAL CLASH Origins. This is the essential version. It is not the most expensive, it is also not the cheapest. And as for the weight, the COMMENCAL CLASH Signature only has 15.8 kilograms, and this bike is 16 kilograms. And if you are a weight weenie, then this bike is not for you. This is the drop seat, the extended seat. This is a size medium bike, and I stand 5 feet 4.5 inches. And the bike fits me well. The standover height may not be the best, but I don't stand in traffic all the time, so standover height doesn't bother me. This bike has a removable chainstay protection, down tube protection, and a frame guard. The shuttle pad is there, but just a bit short. As for warranty, check this out. Let's start with the front suspension. Up front is a not so special Fox 38 with the shock code D8XG. But what does it really mean? So, it has a 38mm stanchion, air spring, 180 mils of travel, fit for a 27.5 wheels, boost space, 37mm rake and has a fit grip damper. But what made it really special? Allow me to explain. Let's say Joe Blog wants to buy a Fox fork for his Commencal Clash. He wants the 180mm travel and the 37mm of offset. Guess what? The only option available for him is the expensive and shiny Fox Factory with Kashima. So, what am I trying to say here? All I'm trying to say is that if Kashima is not a big deal for you, all you need to do is switch the damper and it's now a Fox Factory fork, same as the most expensive stuff, minus the shiny bits. So this is a single pivot linkage driven design. The bike has two suspension modes, dynamic and sensitive. Out of the box, the bike was set on sensitive. The suspension felt plush, linear, and very comfortable even on the chunkiest of bits. Man, she's chunky. However, if you want to add some bits of progression, you can flip the chip to dynamic. I have not tried the dynamic setting yet, but so far, sensitive is good enough for me. As for the linkages, the bearings are enduro bearings, and I had time to open them myself and they are lubed and ready to go. Providing for the cushion for the pushing is the rear suspension. Yes, it's a Fox Float X2 230/65 with the shock code DHCJ. So far, it's not too flash, but it does the job and it does it very well. If only they have fitted a Fox Float X2 factory shocks, even with a black stanchion, would have been banger. Total sleeper bike. The Class Essential is worth 6,400 New Zealand dollars, and that includes that is a properly tuned Shimano 12-speed. Starting from the rear drivetrain is a Shimano SLX 12-speed rear derailleur with a matching SLX 12-speed cassette and a 12-speed chain. Up front is a 1x12 Shimano SLX cranks with 170mm of crank arm mated to a boost space press fit BB. Altogether, with the 34-tooth chainring up front, the gearing seems a bit tall. But this big bike has a big chain growth. If you are curious on how the bike would behave on a 30-tooth chainring up front, I will put a video at the end of this clip. Just a word of warning though. Alright, so day 4, the 8th hour of riding Clash. The SLX fell off. The star thingy wasn't anywhere to be found. So yeah, top tip, check your crank bolts. This one's mightily stripped too. Yes, it may be tempting to ride your bike straight out of the box, but make sure that you do a bolt check. I haven't done mine, so this is what happened. So I don't know if it's a warranty claim or something. I'll let you guys know. Well, technically, it's not stripped. Looking at the new XT, it looks like it's designed that way. Oh well. Stopping power is provided by a pair of a center lock 203mm ice-tech rotors and a pair of SLX 4-pot pistons SPEC EV. You know, the fancy ones with the new bar clamp design. However, the pads are not so fancy though. However, I was told that those fancy pads are actually noisy in the trail. So maybe COMMENCAL maybe they did the right thing there to put the cheap ass pads. All of this stuff are tied up to a 27.5-inch DT Swiss E532's tubeless ready rims, laced to a formula hub that sounds like this. But is it loud enough? Welcome to my not so scientific top research facility. Let's find out by using a not so scientific noise measurement app. As for ground contact, the bike has a MAXXIS assegai up front and a MAXXIS dissector at the rear. Grip and rolling resistance, they were not an issue on this bike is for fun and is meant to do big things. And that is why I'm a bit disappointed that they supplied the bike with a lithe and thin sidewall casing. On unboxing, one of the things that I replaced straight away are the stem bolts. Those are now made out of titanium. The one that came from the packaging is just bent. One of the bolts are not straight. Luckily, I have a replacement and so far, the color blends in, and considering the weight savings, and that measures 7 grams. 4 grams. That's almost 50% weight reduction. Should I change every bolt in this bike? Let me know in the comments down below, or just keep it stock. These are Ride Alpha, Commencal's home brand. They are not bad, but it's 31.8. Yes, these bars are comfortable, but seriously, can we not get a comfortable 35mm bar? My old Trek Remedy has a 35mm bar and stem as a stock option. And for those of you who still misses my Trek Remedy, I'll put it in the link in the description down below. As for the grips on that one sucks big time, so I change it. Enough rant for now. As for the saddle, COMMENCAL has nailed it this time. It's a chromo, narrow profile WTB Silverado, which I am very much sure has been a long time crowd favorite. Like most new bikes nowadays, this bike has no free pedals. I just bought this pair of DEITY Black Cat pedals simply because I am getting away from Shimano pedals. And if you want to know why, that could be a future upload. And yeah, that ends today's bike check. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss an upload. Peace! Next upload on Blue Line Rider, we will modify my Fox 38 fork into something better.